Unajua mimi zingine naona kama Kenya tulirogwa. Wewe niambie ama mtu anieleze vizuri budget ya Kenya ya State House imeshinda budget ya White House hapa US. Na mbali sana. Ukichukua budget ya White House ya USA na uchukue budget ya State House ya Germany, but hizo mbili combined azifikia Kenya. Uchukue budget ya South Africa, economy yao ni noma, ya Nigeria na Algeria. Uziunganishe mtu wangu, bado Kenya inatuanga hizo budget zote za hizo State House. Unacheki 17 billion mtu wangu. Kwa ile State House iko na nini ile? Hey. I mean anyway, 2 terms ndio? 2 terms.
Sometimes I wonder, a government whose manifesto was premised on bottom up, on changing the life of an ordinary common mwananchi, a government whose manifesto was premised on transforming the lives of ordinary mwananchi, but right now is spending 17 billion on State House allocation. This year only, they hiked from 8.4 billion to 17.1 billion, an increase of 8 billion. When cancer patients are struggling, when cancer patients are being turned away, are being chased away in Kenyatta Hospital because the LILAC machines for radiotherapy is broken down, then the government spends 17 billion only for this year for their expenditures, because there is a provision in the constitution that allows them for emergency spending. When people are drowning in floods, just an ordinary rain wreaks the havoc across all the city, but the government cannot see this. Where is a priority for this government? A government whose manifesto was premised on uplifting the lives of ordinary mwananchi, but right now they are getting themselves rich while the ordinary mwananchi is getting poor and poor. What is the priority of this government?
The State House budget increased from 8.6 billion shillings to 17 billion shillings, and the government used an emergency clause that allows them to spend without parliamentary approval. The Kenyan State House budget is higher than that of the White House in America. These are the State House budgets of the different countries. France is 17.5 billion shillings, Uganda is 17.2 billion shillings, and then Kenya is 16.1 billion shillings right now, while the US is 10 billion shillings. And Algeria is 9 billion shillings. South Africa is 7.8 billion shillings. They doubled the State House budget by 98% because of these reasons. They increased the budget for new cars from 6.9 million shillings to 141 million shillings. They increased the budget for domestic travel from 376 million shillings to 2 billion shillings. Hospitality was increased from 338 million shillings to 1.6 billion shillings. Fuel was increased from 191 million shillings to 600 million shillings, and vehicle maintenance was increased from 136 million shillings to 530 million shillings. And ironically, on the same page, there is a story about cancer patients who are unable to access radiotherapy treatment for 2 months at Kenyatta National Hospital because the LILAC machine broke down. Under normal circumstances, Kenyatta National Hospital treats 100 cancer patients per day, but after the machine broke down, they had to start using an older version, and they can only handle 50 cancer patients per day. Some of these cancer patients are referred to the Kenyatta University Teaching and Referral Hospital, and others to the Nairobi West Hospital, where the treatment is being offered at a subsidized rate of 600 shillings. However, some of these patients cannot afford the 600 shillings because they live from hand to mouth. When cancer patients stay for long without radiotherapy treatment, the tumors can increase in size, and this can reduce the effectiveness of the treatment. Blissful Daily offers catering for all occasions: corporate catering, birthdays, baby showers, weddings, tour groups, house calls. They are located in Nairobi CBD, and they offer fresh food at affordable rates. Their numbers are down below. Please give them a call. They will deliver.
Budget ya State House kuruka from 8 billion to 17 billion.
Sasa budget ya Uhuru ilikuwa 4.5 billion. Na aliendesha nchi nzuri, kwa sababu Uhuru hakutumia ikulu kama pahali ya kuhonga watu. Ruto ameiongeza from 4.5 ikafika 8.5. Kwa sababu tunaelekea uchaguzi, ameweka times 2 is 17 billion. Hii pesa ni ya kuhonga watu. Juzi walimu walikuwa huko, kila mtu akapatiwa shilingi 10,000 wa kule. Saa hii wanalia wataenda mgomo kwa sababu SHA haifanyi kazi. Watu ya Meru walikuwa huko, wakapewa kila mtu shilingi 5,000. Watu ya Kiambu walikuwa huko, wakapewa kila mtu shilingi 10,000. Makasiriko ya watu ya Kenya, wale wenye payslip, ndio wanatoa hii kodi. The payslip has been raided. Wanakuwa tax almost 42% of their salary. Hii pesa yote Ruto anachukua ya kuhonga wa Kenya. Ndio hii pesa Kindiki anatembea naye na magunia. Atakuwaka na ndege mbili, moja imebeba pesa, ingine ndio anatumia. Hii pesa yote ni ya wizi. Saa hiyo watoto wa shule hawaendi, hakuna capitation. Kenyatta National Hospital, wale wagonjwa wameenda pale hawakufi kwa sababu ya ugonjwa iliwapeleka, kwa sababu ya kukosa chakula. Na wanalipa pesa. Hii pesa yote inaibiwa, inapelekwa State House. Ile pesa yote ingesaidia Wakenya. Polisi wanalia ya kwamba wakipeleka watoto bibi yao maternity hawapati usaidizi. Wakenya wote wametoshwa pesa, na hii pesa ndio Ruto amechukua amepeleka State House. State House ni crime scene. Kazi yake ni kuhonga watu. Kama hii wajumbe wa Meru nimehesabu, tangu tuchaguliwe wameenda huko mara 11. Na hakuna kitu wanaulizanga Ruto. Wanaongea, hata wanachoka, wanataka amalize, awachote waende nyumbani. Ndio hii pesa hii 17 billion ni ya kuhonga watu, wakiwemo wajumbe wa Meru. Hata jana Kadhuri Murungi na gavana walikuwa huko, wakapewa kila mtu milioni 2 ya kuja kukoroga mikutano yetu. Unasikia? Hii pesa 17 billion ni pesa ya wizi. Ni pesa imeibiwa kwa Wakenya, wale wamelipa kodi. Na ni pesa ambayo William Ruto anatumia kuhonga Wakenya wamrudisha.
State House will spend 17 billion shillings by the end of the current financial year, double the 8.5 billion shillings allocated at the beginning of the financial year. Amidst concern about State House increasing appetite for public funds, officials claim the amount allocated was too small. As Emmanuel Toh now reports, State House has requested for 20 billion shillings for the next financial year starting the 1st of July, saying 4 new state lodges have contributed to the rise in expenditure.
Wapi kelele! As of July 1st, 2025, the State House budget, as approved by the National Assembly for the current financial year 2025-2026, stood at 8.58 billion shillings. The amount has since doubled. According to the estimates contained in the Supplementary Budget 1 of the current financial year, State House has been allocated an extra 8.43 billion shillings, pushing the total State House allocation by the end of the current financial year to 17 billion shillings. State House requested for the first installment of its additional budget in September 2025 after depleting its accounts for the entire year, just 3 months into the financial year. Parliamentary records show the amount was increased on account of salary review and enhanced operations and maintenance.
We have not actually even attained that what was our requirement, leave alone surpassing. Our requirement was 18 billion.
Some of the additional allocation was drawn under Article 223 of the Constitution, which allows the national government to spend money not authorized by an Appropriation Act if funds are insufficient and budgeted or from the contingencies fund. The control of budget has over time raised a red flag over this method of withdrawals, saying it amounted to abuse of the law to fund items which did not meet the threshold of emergency funding.
You have an increment in state lodges now because previously we had 8. Now we have 4 new built by this administration. One in Bungoma, one in Homa Bay, another one in Kitui, and another one in Kwale. You will agree with me that they come with the cost. The supplementary budget is 240 B. Out of the 240, State House is only getting 8. Why only focusing on the 8 and leave alone the 232 for other ministries?
State House is also projecting that it may need more funding in the financial year beginning July 1st.
We had projected that by the end of the financial year, we will have spent 18, but by the end of this financial year, we will have been allocated 16.4. Even in the coming financial year, our projection is 20, but we have just been given 11.
State House spent 12 billion shillings in the 2024-2025 financial year, 11.3 billion shillings in 2023-2024, and 9.1 billion shillings in the financial year 2022-2023. State House has also been on the receiving end, with a petitioner moving to court to stop President William Ruto from hosting political events there, which may have contributed to the ballooning of the budget.
43 million per day is what William Samoei Ruto is using uko State House. Watu wanakufa njaa, watoto hawajaenda shule, SHA haifanyi. By the way, yesterday I was in hospital. It does not work. Okay? CBC ni takataka in the name of a curriculum. Lakini tunatumia 43 million per day. Mudomo nayo sifungi. Ndo nitavuruta likae kama la kenge. Sawa? Yeah. So, munataka tunyamaze? Na huyu mzee anatumia 43 million per day. Ngumu. Ngumu. Famine is an issue. Lack of water ni 43 Z, not today. Nimekata.
State House?
Yeah.
Of Kenya?
Yeah.
Those ones are eating ribs every day.
Hakuna Lent.
Hakuna Lent. Kenyan State House, there is no Lent, my friend.
What is happening?
You see, State House budget doubles to 17 billion, higher than the White House. And State House budget for the current financial year has doubled to 17 billion, soared by 8.242 billion. An increase of 8.42 billion.
Because what's happening, really?
Because people are not eating jahe there.
There is just nyama and opulence.
And opulence. And flowers. And I'm telling you, for it's higher than White House.
You know, this is unbelievable, because the way that budget is scaling at White House, that's the one we see here when we pass by the State House Road.
Yes. The budget is bigger than White House or America.
16.9 billion.
It's actually 17 because
billion.
It's 999.
That is almost
shilingi. Ni hivyo tu Wahindi wanatudanganyaga kwa maduka.
That is
wanakuambia shati ni 19,999.
Asema iko discount, ingia nunua.
Nunua. But it's not 2,000.
Anakuambia ni 1999.
So when you finish, they give you a shilling. What will you buy with a shilling out there?
But I'm really questioning why we are actually being this exorbitant, because that is almost an amount that can facilitate a whole county. There's a county that is running on a budget of 17 billion in this country. And that is what State House has doubled their budget to be.
I'm telling you.
Shooting higher. You know, the other day we were talking about an extra 2 billion.
Yes.
From 7 billion to at least 9 billion. So now we have gone to the extent of 17 billion.
What?
Which is even higher than how much the White House in the United States of America, as a country that is almost as big as the continent of Africa.
It's chewing.
And
so that's how life is. So Kenyans, it is their time to exercise their duty.
I think people should open up their eyes
and vote. You know,
vote, because this
if this money, Kenya last year, I saw yesterday John Ngongabadi saying that Kenya will be borrowing per year 2 trillion every year. We will be borrowing 2 trillion every year from next year.
We will be borrowing 2 trillion per year.
Per year.
I just want to get this right.
Yeah.
And already we have 1.3 trillion which is missing from e-citizen.
Yes. But we'll be borrowing 2 trillion every year from our international and partners and bilateral partners and traders.
Is a disaster now.
And remember, the State House spends 17B for eating and many other things and handouts.
Let me welcome you.
Look, I'm out here for 5 seconds. I'm considering if Kamala would have been better than me. The cold is making people crazy.
I appreciate that it's not very warm around here.
You know, we do control the weather. They didn't want me to say it, but we control the weather. Biden didn't know, but I know what's going on.
There was a bit of engagement from the birds around here, and I thought there was some distraction.
No, it's a natural phenomenon. You know, I'm a natural phenomena too.
It is not about the birds.
Look, nobody loves birds more than me. I bird watch.
Usinibo like ustedi ukiwa broke sikila pedi kwa na doka we ni ngombe uskena goat milioni kwanza na bob lile viper tumedodge kila mchoro anza na dot naongeza skari mingi waulize kuskate limit ili video nyeshe chini sijapatiwe degree simanishi chebi kisema lishi kamili ile pressure kubwa nkona
Selector Deno